Hold on a minute.
It's this thing that's saying.
Maybe it's me. I'm gonna log out.
We're looking at this for this is. Good morning, everybody. No, we're good. We had competing devices in the room, and we had a squeal, which you may or may not have heard if you're with us online. But here we are, and so we say, "Good morning, Unity of Payson."
Good morning.
I'm delighted to see those of you who are with us. Well, let's start with online. All of you who are joining us online this morning. From wherever you are, we're grateful to have the connection with you and for you to be one with us in this way.
There's someone named Gloria.
So we have Gloria joining us. I'm just going to say welcome to Gloria, and Gloria will get back just a little bit later and welcome you more officially. This is on. Donna?
Yeah.
I believe you have the, if you don't have your headset on, we're getting some background noise from you. There we go. That's something we've experienced. We have so much fun with technology here. So as we gather this morning, we are grateful. It's a beautiful, if not warm day in Payson, becoming warmer, but we're grateful for this beautiful area in Payson. If you're joining us virtually, if you've never been in Payson, it's just a wonderful place to be. Would you join me now in an opening prayer as we begin our service? God of all goodness, we are grateful this morning for the peace that passes all understanding, that is ours for the claiming. We know that there are challenges in our world, in our community, in our family, in our minds that go against that peace, but we know that that peace is powerful and available. So this morning as we gather, we just take a moment and say, I am peace. Can you say that with me? I am peace. We are grateful, and so it is. Amen. So we're going to now go into our opening song, and Terry's got it here with us. This Thing Called Life by Faith Rivera. If you're here with us and you'd like to stand and sing along, please do so.
Today is the day I will change my luck. I will fight 3 pennies and there'll be heads up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one, I am part of this thing called life. Yeah, from the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I'm one with this thing called life. Yeah, today is the day I'll remember to see only good, only God happening through you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical part of this thing called life. Yeah, from the known to unseen, everything in between. I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Yeah, today is the day I'll be more of myself, love my skin, where I've been, and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, simply flow as I go, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from that magical one, I am part of this thing called life. Yeah, from the known to unseen, everything in between. I am part of this thing called life. Yeah, from the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. Yeah, from the known to unseen, everything in between. I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. I am loved by this thing called life.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Payson, and welcome to this absolutely glorious day. I agree that it is glorious up here. Cool in the morning and just the right temp for my garden in the afternoon. Grow those little babies. So anyway, we're glad that you're with us. We're glad everybody joined us online. Seems like I'm getting a little bit of feedback or something. Okay. Not online. Awesome. All righty. I think that we have no one new here in person, and I believe it was Gloria. If you're new for us here and would like to know what the various activities are through the week, you can go to unityofpayson.org and sign up for our e-newsletter that Terry sends out, and find out what all we have going on, because so many of our activities are online. And
Betty?
Reverend Neal.
I'm going to take this opportunity to greet those who are online. If you can give us a gallery view, and we'll appreciate them. Here we go. Yeah, good morning to Bobby and John in Mesa. TJ.
And Roni.
Hey, Brony's probably there someplace. And Debbie and Terry, we know Terry has been challenged with a little health challenge, but we're praying with him through it. And we're grateful that he's feeling better. Kay Butler from Alabama. Thank you, Kay, for being here. Missed you at Saturday's Soul Boost. I know you had a family thing yesterday. Ed, the president of our board, we're happy to have you every week, not always here, but I really appreciate that. Skip, and is Mike with you, Skip? I don't.
Yes, he is,
Okay.
but he's feeling sick today.
Oh,
So
okay,
we're
Skip and
happy to
Michael.
watch you online.
Debbie, I had a conversation with you, Debbie, a couple times this week. That was great. Frosty, oh, we love having you, Frosty. We missed you too at Saturday Soul Boost. AV, that's our thing here. And Claudette, I bless you. And Scott, I know you have a large responsibility there, and we bless you and pray with you. And Gloria, I don't know if you're able to do so, but if you are, you could unmute and just tell us who you are. I don't know a Gloria.
Bobby said she's a friend of hers, and she asked her to come today.
Beautiful, Gloria, friend of Bobby's. Any friend of Bobby's is a friend of mine. So we're glad to have you with us this morning.
Okay, we're glad everybody's here in person and online. And let's say our affirmation together. We love you, we appreciate you, we welcome you, and we bless the Christ that you are. Be lovely if we could all step into our own Christhood. And now it's time for gratitudes. Do we have them? Nope, it's not. Okay, so we have them, here, you want to take it over?
You can be the mic holder. Hold it close, Crystal.
So close.
Yes.
This is our first spring up here in the mountains, and I have to say this week I was really moved to tears, as Earl can attest. I want to move here forever, by the baby elk. And we have been so blessed to have seen a couple every morning and evening that we've been up here this week. They are adorable. I'm a little bit envious of a friend who just posted pictures. He has 7 of them in his yard, and I really want to buy his house. At any rate, it just reminds me of how what a blessing it is to see the changing of the seasons. We live down in the valley where it's really 9 months of, you could call it summer, or you could call it
Hell, yeah.
and then a few brief months of kind of a chilly winter, or what it should be. So I just wanted to say how grateful I am for these new signs of life up here. Just really, really, really special.
Anybody else here in person that's just raring to give a gratitude?
Well, I'll give a gratitude because I was down in the valley for 4 days and I got to see my grandson, Jackson. He's 3 years old now. I can't believe he's that old. Such a sweet kid, smart, and oh my gosh, energy level. It's like, I don't remember my kids being at that energy level, but you know. So they're starting, both my son's a high school teacher, math and physics and stuff. And Julie, his wife, is the counselor at the school. So they're off during the summer. So they're really focusing on Jackson and what skills that they want to develop. So he's already working on addition. I thought that was pretty interesting at 3 years old. Anyway, well, and if you have a gratitude online,
I would like
if
to.
you-
Ed has a gratitude online, and he is grateful that Joy is still visiting with him from North Dakota. And hi, Joy. We met you a couple of Sundays ago.
So I'm grateful that Chris is joining us for the first time. And she just come in, and I just shook her hand, but we'll get to talk later. So thank you for coming.
All right. Well, thanks for all the gratitudes. And we move on. Unity is grounded in affirmative prayer and in meditation. And we have trained prayer chaplains. I'm it this morning. Donna is online. And I know Sue is on her way back from Michigan. So she will be here next week. If you have a prayer need during the week, you can always email that request to neil.unityofpayson@gmail.com. And if you would like one of us to contact you personally, please leave phone number or email that we can get a hold of you. And we hold them sacred, confidential for 30 days, and we forward it on to Silent Unity, where they're held for another 30 days. And that's a 24-hour prayer service at Unity Village. So don't hesitate. And we move on to our theme for the month, which is courageous. And let's say the affirmation together. Divine strength paves my way. I boldly do what is mine to do. And courage can take many different shapes. I'm sure we'll hear about some of those today. And our speaker today is our own Rev Neal Worthington, and his talk title is Calm in the Chaos, Stillness in the Storm. And boy, don't we need those little tips with the way the world is today. Just don't watch the news, stay centered, do your meditation, chime some bowls, go out in nature. The little commercial for peace. And now, as we prepare to go into meditation, we have our meditation song, Listen to the Mountains. And I don't think I know this one.
With that beautiful music, our souls are drawn to calm. And for just a couple of minutes, we'll spend time in the quiet, where we quiet our minds, quiet our bodies, and even quiet our emotions. This we choose. Take a deep breath and revel in the silence where you know that you are connected to all that is. Today we look to that heavenly quality of peace. A little earlier together we said I am peace. I am peace. And we know that within us, the divine that lives within us is ready to grant peace in every situation. Even our very nature, that of being children of the divine, expressions of the divine, says, peace, be still. We proclaim it as we feel it course through our being. Take a few moments now just to, in the quiet, take those 3 simple words in gratitude and allow them to fill you. Peace, be still. Not the sounds of traffic or the sound of air conditioning or the thoughts that fill our mind can destroy the peace that is available to us. So as we bring our attention and our awareness back to the present, we are grateful that this is one of the divine gifts always there for us. If you will, if you have your eyes closed, just open them now. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Make sure you're back here in this time, in the place where you are. And so it is. Today I start with a story. Different. No quiz today. Story takes place in the city of ancient Babylon, city in Mesopotamia. This city is referred to very early in the Hebrew Scriptures, the 11th chapter of Genesis. And there's an account in Babylon that I want to tell the story about. Well, earlier in the book of Genesis, we have the account of the creation, Adam and Eve. But then there were children and grandchildren and aunts and uncles, and they spread throughout the then known world, according to the story. It's interesting. The story as told in Genesis says, and this story is probably a story with a truth underlying, but more a myth than a story, but an important myth with a salient truth. The story goes that there was one language still, and all people, however far they had strayed, spoke one language, and they were one people. But there were some movers and shakers in Babylon who had an eye on a certain kind of greatness. So they said, enough of the hamlets and the villages and the outposts. I'm telling this story in my own way. This isn't exactly how it went in Genesis. Let's make a city, a real city. Let's make it the best city there ever was. There's never one before and none like it. And let's build a tower We'll build a tower that's magnificent, something that will create wonder in the hearts of everybody who sees it. It'll reach into the heavens. We'll reach up into the heavens and we will be like gods. And then they said, well, one more thing. Let's make a name for ourselves. We really want to be respected and known as leaders in this world. We want to be calling the shots. Let's make a name for ourselves. And of course, that city began to be built, and the tower, well, here's the little quiz, and that was called the Tower of Babel. Well, you got it. No problem finding that. These movers and shakers said, but in order to build this city and this tower, we need some money. So let's tax everybody, every last person, and we'll get the money we need to build this tower that'll make us the greatest. And they pulled together the most capable architects that they could find. They conferenced, they agreed and disagreed, but finally come up with a plan to build the tower, the beginning and the centerpiece of this city, this marvelous city. Well, the most skilled workmen in all of the land were called, conscripted, I think, we'd call it drafted. They were drafted for the job of putting this tower together. And the building began. There were instructions were specific, and the construction supervisors made sure that they were followed very closely. Let's bake the bricks, because the tower was to be made of bricks primarily, very hot, so that they will be durable and will stand. And let's go get loads and loads of bitumen. You know what bitumen is? Basically oil that seeps up out of the ground. Doesn't matter how we have to dig it out and whose home we might wreck or whose farm we might have to take to get the bitumen, but let's get bitumen, lots and lots of bitumen for the mortar that goes between the bricks. They went on to get timbers for the interior of the tower from palm tree and eucalyptus trees. And they even went so far as to the extreme edge of the realm to find wood known as teak, so they could make intricately carved handrails as you go up the tower. This was to be the tower that would surpass anything that had ever been built. There were nice embellishments along the way. As the stairs went up this circular tower, getting smaller and smaller, had little viewing balconies, and they could see the emerging city below. The sconces that held the torches were made of gold. The handrails were inlaid with gold. It was the best that they could possibly think of, better than anything they had conceived of here before that time. So there they were at work with the construction, getting along with it pretty well. And they still had their credo. We'll build a great city, something that no one has seen before. And we'll construct this great tower that reaches to the heavens. And we'll make a name for ourselves. Well, the story goes on as the Hebrew Scripture stories go. The Lord came down to look at the city and the tower. Now, we have maybe a different sense of the divine and the connection with the world, but we'll stay with this story anyway. The Lord came down and looked and said, my goodness, they're one people, They speak the language. They're very well connected. They've got this idea. They are powerful. What can we do? They're going to run away with creation. And so the Lord, as the story goes, confused them by making them all speak different languages. Up until now, they had one language. And so they spoke these different, and they couldn't understand one another. There was great confusion. Eventually, people gravitated to some areas in the realm because they all spoke one language, and another language here, another language there. Well, that's the explanation how we got so many languages. Remember, this is a myth, probably. Chaos. Chaos, in the end result of this story, chaos even in the process. The people became scattered. They became separate from one another. They were in discord. Many disagreements, misunderstandings. That's what we're going to talk about somewhat today, chaos. Well, actually, we're going to talk more about calm in the chaos. So here we go. Calm in the chaos, stillness in the storm, as the title says. Chaos is confusion, disorder, discord, conflict. I'm sure you have none of it in your world. Oh, you may. But it could be on a global level, it could be on a national level, could be on a community level, could be within your family, could be within your mind. Chaos. Too many things happening all at once and no connection that makes any sense to us. Kind of like a hamster on a wheel, just going pell-mell, but getting nowhere. This is somewhere where we find ourselves. You can think in your life where there might be chaos, within or without. But I have some good news. It's not hopeless. Let me step back for a minute and give a metaphysical interpretation to this story of the Tower of Babel. Because I'm not sure it follows the myth exactly. Matter of fact, I know it doesn't. But I believe there's a truth within this that we get to know. These people who decided that they were the movers and shakers had great ideas. They did a lot of work. Made a lot of people uncomfortable. Really hurt a lot of people. But it didn't matter. They had a great goal in the end. But it was all in the physical outside world without a thought about the inside world. This is a prime example of how living in a world where your consciousness is placed completely in everything outside of yourself does not lead to peace. The world won't look like it, and maybe your mind won't look like it. But the alternative to that chaos there is the calm that's found in the development of consciousness, divine consciousness within. We talk about this a lot. We talk about how going within is connecting with the true nature of who we are. That the things that appear to be happening outside of ourselves, the things that we place so much stock in, are maybe not the real, maybe not the truth of us. And so we look inside instead of outside. For building great things, we stop and we quiet and we become calm. There's a scripture in the Christian scriptures, story of Jesus and his disciples in a boat on the Sea of Galilee. And a storm came up, a fierce storm. Jesus was in the boat sleeping. The disciples got fearful, finally went to him and said, Jesus, what are you doing? Wake up, the waves are this. And that phrase, those 3 words that I spoke earlier as we did in meditation, brought calm, peace, be still. Now, it didn't come from a master stroke of muscling the weather into a correct place. It came from the introduction of calm. So with those people spread and scattered and separated from each other in Babylon, they only began to find their way back to peace as that spiritual practice, that inner practice that they had, led them there. And then we see the stories of the failure to do that and the successes to do that throughout the Hebrew Scriptures. That brings me on to that second part of the message for today, which is stillness in the storm. We just saw the example with Jesus in the boat, stillness in the storm, going from that ferocious winds and waves to the calm of the sea without a ripple on the sea. We know storms as hurricanes, tornadoes. Thank you, Kay, for the report that the tornadoes skirted you in Alabama there this last couple days. We're always praying with you that you will be skirted by those tornadoes, but those are the outside things that happen. But they seem to be things that are without our control. A huge downfall of rain and floods, tornadoes, hurricanes. But there may be some things that are like that in our world as well. There may be something that's a ferocious event that happens. Maybe some perceived, anyway, attack on our community, on our persons, on our faith. Or it may be some snub, someone that didn't give you your due, and they snubbed you after you had been so very kind to them. These are the storms that we experience personally. We predict these storms. We know they're going to come. We know that when we get with so-and-so, it's not likely to turn out well. So we predict the storm, and we get the storm. It comes on suddenly, and then it blows over after a time, only to come up again and again. Well, on these storms that confront us, are we truly victims? Or is there a way to achieve stillness in the storm? Is there anything we can do about that? There's a beautiful book written by a Unity minister. I'll show it to you. The Eye of the Storm. Kind of uses that hurricane reference. Written by Gary Simmons. It talks about conflict particularly, but I want to just share one part of a paragraph. He says at the center of a hurricane there's an eye, but at the eye there is peace, calm, clarity, and stillness. The storm of conflict, he says, also possesses a center. I call this center the I, capital I, not EYE, but capital I, the eye of the storm. As you surmise from this analogy, the eye of the storm is your wholeness and spiritual essence. It is where you can experience the storm without resisting it. So there's hope, even in the storm. We talk about our wholeness, even our unity, even our oneness, that are available there at the center of what seems to be a huge problem, conflict. And the I is right there in the middle. I is an important word. When I was a kid, I used to be counseled not to say I or me so much. That was selfish. But the I that I'm talking about is the spiritual I. That I that's created in the image and likeness of God. That I that has the heritage, the divine heritage, as part of your makeup. That I, that divine I, what we sometimes call the Christ within, that I is at the center of every storm, not on the periphery where it's raging, but at the very center. And you can claim your I-ness, if you will, that spiritual I that you are, and it will be a mitigating factor in the storm around you. Because the eye of the storm is a place of balance, of equilibrium. Stillness is the antidote to the storm. That storm has some benefits too, just as an aside. When you go through a huge rainstorm or a hurricane, you've got a lot of water. Water's a purifier. That hurricane in your life may have provided you an opportunity to shed some of the unwanted, the dirtier or unseemly parts of your life that you want to. And the turmoil that accompanies it predicts, almost precedes the gift of transformation. Because there, as a hurricane would tear across the land and transform it, actually changing it into another form, that conflict, that storm that's in our lives, also may prepare us for transformation. In unity, there's a word called chemicalization, for those of us that study unity. That's where things are boiling up and springing up, and they seem terrible, but they are the predecessor to the gift of peace, of stillness that's within. So how about this conflict? How about this storm? Well, the chaos is offset by the calm. It's mitigated, that chaos, by and I'm going back inward now into the spiritual experience, is mitigated by the sense of peace that we bring to our world. Have you ever been in a meeting that was really contentious, and somebody walked into that meeting, and by their very presence, it quieted? That's because they brought the peace with them. Doesn't happen real often. But can you be that agent of peace in whatever situation you are? So we get to the how do you do that? Well, I've tipped you off. Go inside. Number one. Something comes up in your life, don't wait hours until you finally say, oh, maybe I better pray about this. Maybe I better sit and meditate and get calm. Just go there right away. Don't wait around. The chaos that seems to be surrounding you can be calmed by going within. It can be quiet meditation. Could be a walk in nature, as Betty had talked about. Could be the ringing of a bowl. Whatever works for you to bring that sense of peace. To just bring you to a center of yourself, that center, that I, where balance is found and equilibrium. Another thing that we often do when the storm comes on, whatever it may be in our lives, we fight it. Don't fight the storm. Just go within and find peace. Fighting the storm will probably bring a little more storm along. So don't fight the storm, the chaos. And most of all, what we talk about a lot but don't necessarily do very much, live in the moment. Live in the very present. What happened before, what you project may happen into the future is not life. Life is here and now. Simple counsel, go within. Don't resist. Live in the moment. Calm does mitigate chaos. Stillness weakens the storm. Around you and within you, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Neal. Now is the time that we sort of acknowledge where we receive some of our spiritual gifts with our tithes and our offerings. We're grateful for all the support and everybody online. We have a basket in the back for those here in person, over by Rick, over by the desk. And online, the slides will be coming up here as to how to give online. And you could use those anytime during the week, actually. Or we have a number of people that give on a monthly basis, and they have that set up. So there's a lot of different ways that you can give. And Unity of Payson then also ties out to the larger community, some of the nonprofits here in town. Allowing yourself to consider Neal's message of peace, and that the donations support that work that we're doing, and that the other nonprofits are doing here in town to uplift people and to help bring peace into their lives with kindness and compassion. And so let's say our affirmation together. Freely we give and freely we receive. And we have special music, and it's called, the title is There Is a Way.
When I look within, I see a multifaceted being. Imagine multiplying that by the billions that we are. When I look within, I see a multidimensional being. I pause to listen to what they have to say to me. There is a way, there is a way, there is a way. Time will see us through it. Wisdom as we knew it. There is a way. There is a way. There is a way. When you look within, tell me that what are you seeing? Are the layers revealing? Are you believing in the star you are when you look within? What kind of visions are you beaming? Endings or beginnings? Messages from the unknown come through. There is a way. There is a way. There is a way. Time will see us through it. Wisdom as we knew it. There is a way. There is a way. There is a way. I believe in our kind of side. I believe in our nature. We're part of the world. Oh, as people come together, as the wise one said before, we can flip this in an instant and feel peace forevermore. When we look within, the answers are there screaming. We really do have the wisdom to turn our sacred ship around. When we look within, we realize that we are rebuilding, that we are reinventing. Let's make it good for one, for all. There is a way. There is a way. There is a way. Time will see us through it. Wisdom as we knew it. There is a way. There is a way. There is a way.
I believe there always is a way, another way to look at life. And now's the time that we dedicate the offerings. If you can say our blessing with me. Hmm?
We took it out. We decided we weren't to do that.
We weren't going to do that? Well, then I will silently bless the offerings. Okay. And we're on to our announcements. And next week, we continue on with our theme for June, which is courageous. And our speaker will once again be our own Rev Neal. And his talk title is Plugged In, Charged Up, Tapping into God Power. And now we're going to have a few announcements here, but do check the Monday e-newsletter so that Terry sends out that has all the activities. So Tuesday, Thursdays, we have Teresa with her Qigong and Tai Chi. This is a Zoom activity. And all of the Zoom activities are all by also love offerings, so do keep that in mind. Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 to 10:10. Next, we have the Renewed Pen, the next writers group. That's Tuesday, let's see, on mine, it has the wrong date. Second and fourth Tuesday, so the next one is June 10th instead of May 10th, from 4 to 5. And see Neil if you're interested in that, because there's a writer's prompt each time as to what to write about. And next we have Morning Cafe every Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. That's hosted by Donna. And next we have the Saturday Soul Boost at 4 o'clock. And that's where Neil hosts a casual discussion of the theme for the month. And then we have our block party. This is going to be over at the Presbyterian Church, 800 West Main, And there's all kinds of activities going on there. The kindness group will have tables there. And I know Rick and I believe Charlotte, you're going to that also. So you can talk to either one of them if you want to get more information about that. I think there's rock painting and all kinds of stuff going on for the kids. And Rick has new bumper stickers and the new kindness bracelets. And so do talk to him. I think, Neil, you're helping out with the rock painting, aren't you? And I don't know if there's this, oh, we do have a slide. Oh, awesome. At Brahms down at Shanty Olmsted, we'll be having a summer solstice event. That's on the 21st at 3 o'clock. It's a vegetarian potluck. There's going to be Tai Chi and a labyrinth walk. We're going to do some drumming, so do bring drums or rattles or whatever, and we'll have some fun with that. And if you have any questions about it, see Rom after service. And any PS from Neil?
If you haven't been down to Shanty Olmsted, that day we may carpool a little bit, or we may go down and buy caravan. So let me know. You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss Shanty Olmsted if you haven't been there. I love it enough that I go every week for 5 or 6 hours or thereabouts, whatever happens. I just love being there and love working with Ram in that beautiful spot where we're growing all sorts of good things, and well, there's a lot happening there, and there'll be a lot happening on that day, so I really recommend you do it. Find out from Ram or find out from me. We'll want to have a good Unity of Payson contingent down there on that day. So that's it. We will close our service now. If you'll stand with me if you're here in person, and together we'll say the prayer for protection and then our closing song after that. When the closing song starts, you can begin to gravitate toward the donut holes or whatever we have over there, and spend some time in socializing. And for those of you who've joined us virtually, we're so grateful you're here with us today online. Together we say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. And the presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And the closing song is Stronger Every Day. So listen and talk. I guess you can do both. Thank you again all for being here today.
Woke up today with a spark in my eye, ready to take on the world, reach for the sky. The storms may come, but I won't break. Every fall just teaches me what's at stake. I've been down before, but I won't stay low. With every challenge I rise and grow. There's a fire in my soul that won't burn out. I'm moving forward, there's no room for doubt. I'm getting stronger every day. No matter what comes, I'll find my way. I'll face the storm, I'll fight the fight. I'm not backing down, I'll claim my light. Stronger every day, I'll rise above. With courage and hope, I'm guided by love. The road might be rough, the nights might be long, but inside my heart there's a victory song. I've learned from the past, now I'm moving ahead. With each new sunrise, a new dream is fed. When the world tries to tear me apart, I'll stand tall with a brave heart. Every tear, every pain just washes away in the pouring rain. I'm getting stronger every I'm gonna